Mishnah Zayin. Biur Mishnah Zayin. Explanation for Mishnah Zayin. Hashokel al yedei ani. If one pays to an ani, he pays for a poor person. In other words, it's not a loan, like we discussed the kalbon last time. When you give it a loan or you use it together, matana, that's right. Bishvil ani, so it says here I have one. Usually, if he said for me and for you, then they tell you, you would go and change it, so pay for the exchange rate. Give me a kalbon. But if I come with a poor person, and I have one coin, it's not half a coin, and I tell this is for me and for him, I give it to him as a present, then they're not going to take the kalbon. Hashokel yedei ani, bishvil ani, for a poor person, klumar shenatan shekel shalem, that he gave a whole shekel, machatzito bishvil atzmo, umachatzito bishvil ani beturat matana. He gave half for him, half for a poor person as a present. Ve'al yedei shcheno, or bishvil shcheno, or for his neighbor. Yeah? Also for his neighbor. Matana. He has to give it as a present. Ve'al yedei beniro, or bishvil beniro. For example, the city comes together and the city says, hey, some people don't have money. We're going to give them chip in and we're going to pay for them. Patur mina kalbon. In all those cases, you don't have to pay the kalbon. Shema'achar shu noten matana, because it's not a loan. The guy's not going to give it to him back. It's not business over here. Lo chivu chachamim leosif kalbon. There's no necessity to add the kalbon. Vehu adin le'av sheshokel minechasav bishbil banav beturat matana. Same thing if you have a minor, he doesn't work, obviously you're paying for him. First of all, he doesn't need to, but but it's matana, that's right. Shepatu min kalbon. Okay. He doesn't have to pay the kalbon. Ve'im elvum, but if it was a loan, אבל אם נתן בשבילם לא בתורת מתנה אלא בתורת הלוואה, it wasn't a present, it was a loan, חייב בכלבון. Then he's making business again. כדין השוקל בשבילו בשביל חברו. Like we said before, he has to pay an addition. האחים והשותפים. The brothers and the partners. Now there's two ways to learn it. It's either brothers or partners, or brothers who are partners. Yeah. I don't know how we read it. ויש גורסים האחים השותפים בלא וו. So that's the two explanation. It's either brothers or partners, or it's brothers that have to be partners. כלומר, האחים שהם שותפים בירושת אביהם. So this is brothers that both of them have the inheritance of their father. שחייבים בכלבון, that they are obligated in כלבון, היינו כשחלקו האחים בנכסים שירשו מאביהם, וחזרו ונשתתפו. The case is, there was a business, they got half and half, 50%, let's make it easy, and then after it says, hey, let's become partners. That's the case.
Oh.
After they divided the business half and half, they said, let's become partners. והרי הם כשאר כל השותפים השוקלים כאחד, שחייבים בכלבון, because if they were just,
if they were one,
they would be able to, but over here they became partners afterwards. So
what's the difference would be if they would be one? That means that they're the same family and they're brother, they come in, they need kalbon.
Oh, we're not talking about kalbon. You see what we're talking about now.
Oh.
Yeah? פטורים ממעשר בהמה. In such a case, they don't have to pay a tithe of an animals. Now we're going to see that the tithe for animals, you've got like 100 sheep that are born this year. So you have to give 10 sheep. But it says over there, it emphasizes the fact that you're a single individual in Maaser Behema. It says only a single individual pays, which means partners don't pay Maaser Behema.
So if they divide it and each one becomes his own fortune, you need a Maaser Behema.
But if they now combined again, they don't need to. פטורים ממעשר בהמה. They don't have to give מעשר בהמה. שכן, how not? מצווה להפריש אחד מ10 מכל בהמות טהורות שיוולדו לאדם בכל שנה ושנה. So every small animal that was born, if the animal was pure, every 10th one has to go to the Kohen. כמו שכתוב, like it's written, וכל מעשר בקר וצאן, every tithe of sheep or cattle, כל אשר יעבור תחת השבט, everything that's going to go under the stick, העשירי יהיה קודש להשם. The 10th one will become holy to God. אבל השותפים פטורים מלעשרת הבהמות שישבו בהם. But if you have partners, you don't have to pay. ואף עם כל הוולדות שנולדו להם בשותפות, ואף את כל הוולדות שנולדו בשותפות, הילקח האחים השותפים פטורים ממעשר בהמה. Therefore the brothers don't have to pay a tithe for the בהמה. וכשחייבים במעשר בהמה, and when one is obligated to pay the מעשר, כגון שלא חלקו האחים בנכסי הירושה מעולם. In other words, the father passed away, and they're all living. It's like the father is, they didn't make a division. We're using it, the whole family is using it. So we're going to consider it, they're all using it, they're all using the fathers. Because the fact that I can use whichever part I want, and the fact that my brother can use whichever part he wants, means that it still belongs to whom? Not to me, not to him, it still belongs to the father. So therefore it's like yeah?
So it's one part.
It's one partner, it looks like. כשנחשבים הנכסים כאילו עדיין הם ברשות אביהם. So then, חייבים הם מעשר, but there's no partnership over here. You guys using whichever. You didn't like make a division and then decided to make a partnership. There's no division. In other words, my part is only, if he can go into any part and I can go into any part, it still belongs to the father. That's the idea. Then they will be obligated in the tithing of מהוולדות שנולדו להם בבת הירושה, from all the animals that are there, because there was no division. And if there was a division, then each one pays from a division. But if then they make a partnership, this is what, when they're not, they don't have to.
They have a division.
And then they made a partnership.
Oh.
That's the case. מעשר בהמה, when they are obligated in מעשר בהמה, פטורים מן הכלבון. They don't have to pay the כלבון one on another. Why? Because they're one entity. It's one company. Then, in other words, the business is paying. It's like the business is paying for both of them. Yeah, there's no division. כדין האב השוקל מנכסיו בשביל בניו בתורת מתנה. Just like the father who's paying for his sons from the business. כמו שהזכרנו לעיל, like we explained above, see tax laws, everything is in here, it's exactly like tax laws. כך מפרש רש"י, this is how Rashi explains it, וכן מפרש כאן הרב ברטנורה, and also the Rav Bartenura explains it this way. אבל הרמב"ם גורס, רמב"ם writes, האחים והשותפים, רמב"ם says, it doesn't have to be brothers that are partners. It can be brothers or partners. Yeah? Either. היינו האחים וכן השותפים, brothers or partners, ולדעתו אין השותפים פטורים ממעשר בהמה. According to the Rambam, if you are partners, you still have to pay tithe from the animals. אלא מהבהמות שנשתתפו בהם תחילה. You have to pay from what you brought in, from the tithe from the animals that you brought in. אבל הוולדות נולדו להם בשותפות, but all the things that are being born now, in other words, the business is making money. Whatever, on the assets you bring in, that you will have to pay. But on the new stuff that the business is making, that you don't have to pay already. לאחר מכן מאלו הבהמות שנשתמשו בהם חייבים במעשר. So,
חייבים במעשר.
מהבהמות שנשתתפו בהם, from the animals that they are, yeah,
that they brought into the partnership.
that they brought into the partnership, yeah. But the new ones, you don't. ומכאן מפרש הרמב"ם משמתו בדרך אחרת, over here the Rambam explains it in a different manner, וזהו שכותב הרמב"ם. This is what the Rambam writes. האחים שעדיין לא חלקו מה שהניח להם אביהם. It says, the brothers that the father passed away and they didn't divide, וכן השותפים שנתנו שקל על ידי שניהם, פטורים מן הכלבון. The Rambam says, even partners don't have to spend כלבון. במה דברים אמורים? It says, when am I saying they don't have to pay? בשותפים שנשאו ונתנו במעות המשותפות, ונשתנה אין המעות. It says, they don't have to pay when there's a new money. In other words, if you brought a tractor or 100 sheep. You have to, and I bought 100 sheep. I have to pay for the 100 sheep, and you have to buy the 100 sheep. But whatever is born from that sheep, or whatever money that sheep was made, on that we'll have to pay taxes.
You'll have to pay.
From the old ones I want. From what we brought in, we won't. But from the new ones, we will.
So the Rambam is apuk.
Yeah.
The opposite.
And over here it says שהמטבע משתנה. What does it mean? For example, we brought in cash and now wheat is going. Yeah, for example, it's not our case. Yeah, but our case, you bring sheep and you got another sheep. Yeah, but that's the idea. בשותפים שנשאו ונתנו במעות המשותפות ונשתנה אין המעות. It looks different. The money is different now. It came from cash into wheat, or it came from cash into, I don't know, soy. There's an exchange in the money. אבל אם הביא זה מעותיו וזה מעותיו והרבבום ועדיין לא נשתנו ולא הוציאום, but if they both brought the money and you exchange all the money and then you don't know whose it is, in other words, I brought dinars Syrian and you brought Israeli dinars. So then you can see whose this is. But over here we bought the same money, it's all mixed up. Yeah, then הרי אלו חייבים בכלבון. Then they are obligated in כלבון. Okay. וכמה הוא כלבון? שחייבים להוסיף במשקל. And how much is the כלבון? 100 כסף, 1 מ-24 בסלע. 1 out of 24th. 1 out of 24th. דברי רבי מאיר, this is the word of רבי מאיר, וחכמים אומרים חצי מהכסף, 1 out of 48. והלכה כחכמים, and the halacha is כחכמים, so a sela is 2, I think, so 1 out of 48 is mamash 2, we said 2 shekel, so from 2 shekel, 1 out of 48, it's 1 out of 24, it's almost 5 cents out of $2 in our things, in our money. Okay. בירושלמי שואלים, in ירושלמי they ask, לאן הולכים הכלבנות? It says, everybody in the temple, there's an administrator of where the money goes. So it says, what are you going to use the money for? You're going to use money for this, for that, for that, for what? ונחלקו בזה תנאים, and we're going to say a disagreement. רבי מאיר סובר, רבי מאיר says, שדינם כדין השקלים. He says, whatever you use the shkalim for, you use the kalbon for. This is where it goes to. In other words, don't use it for gold. Yeah, use it for the sacrifices, that's right. שכן הולך הוא לשיטתו, because he goes according to his system, שהכלבון בא להשוות את ערך השקל למחצית השקל של תורה, because it says, you remember, they shaved it a little bit, so you meant to make sure that you have the right silver amount. רבי אלעזר סובר, it's got nothing to do with the value. You're taking extra now. So רבי אלעזר סובר, לנדבה לקיץ המזבח. It is a sacrifice for קיץ המזבח. What's קיץ המזבח? להביא קורבנות עולות, שהמזבח עומד בטל ואין קורבנות חובה או נדבה להקריב עליו. There's a weekday, nobody's coming to בית המקדש, it's cold, it's whatever it is, it's hot, whatever the combination, it doesn't look good that, the system is not working. You keep a business, you want the business to look like it's working. It's not nice, what God is waiting and nobody's coming. So you said you bring sacrifice from that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Rabbi Shimon ben Shazuri סובר, Rabbi Shimon, the son of Shazuri, thinks, שעושה מהם ריכוכי פחים ציפוי לבית קודש הקודשים. He says you're going to put gold on the Holy of Holies, you're going to put things over there. רבי אליעזר סובר, שהשולחנים היו נוטלים אותם בשכרם, לפי שהיו גובים על השקלים. Rabbi Eliezer says that you pay for the guys who work there. You need to give them the money. ויש אומרים להוצאת דרכים, להביא את השקלים לירושלים. Those who says for the Wells Fargo, you remember the Wells Fargo, the old Wells Fargo with the wagon? He says it costs money to bring all the, you use it for the Wells Fargo trucks. To bring it in. Yeah, exactly. That's what you will use it for.